Good morning, everyone. It's Emily here from Phoenix Gateway. How are we today? I'm really well, thank you. I am not going to do a reading this morning. I've decided that I actually wanted to have a little chat about palindromes. I will, though, do a reading in the next couple of days, maybe just midweek, and we'll do a reading for midweek because for me, this was just at the forefront, and it's something that I've wanted to discuss now, I think, for a little while. And this weekend, with some numbers that came through, really said, right, that's it. You know, there's too many synchronicities now. Let's talk. So, firstly, what is a palindrome? Well, a palindrome is a word, a phrase, a sequence, a number that is the same backward as it is forwards. And in the spiritual community, so to speak, you know, you'll always see people writing about numbers and going, oh my God, I saw the 111, 222, 333, 444. Actually, my daughter does it too all the time. A couple of my kids do it. I think they're just so used to me seeing certain numbers and just talking about them. But it is not just about seeing, you know, these numbers that are the 111s, 222s, 333s, 444s. There's a lot of other numbers that we do come up with that we see on quite more constantly. And I think, well, not I think, the reason for me to really bring this in now is you will notice that a lot of my readings and well, with all the work that I'm doing and those that you will be following as you are going through your awakening and that awareness stage, is that we are all, or many of us, are going through a radical shift in consciousness. We are getting to a point where we have been, you know, awake now for some time, and the information and the knowledge that we receive is always evolving and expanding. So as that is evolving and expanding, so is our awareness, and awareness is our consciousness. One of the ways that we are really also seeing this expansion in consciousness is through number. And it's when we talk about palindromes, I'm going to specifically talk about numbers, because that is how we are seeing, and it is the universe's way of showing us that change is abound. And it's saying, are you aware of what you are seeing? Are you paying attention? So I'll bring it back a little bit. Around 2017, I think it was, I created a template. This is one of my it's actually one of the master templates. I have 12 in all. It is a part of my Sacred Geometry Healing Card deck. And when I recreated the deck, I actually brought this card in. So the first edition doesn't have it, but the second edition does, only because I didn't have it at the time. I hadn't created it yet. It is the Awakening card. Okay, we're looking here, we're talking about whale medicine. It's about accessing Akashic records. It's about our conscious evolution. So one of the actual affirmation that goes with this divine card is, the greatest teacher is my soul. I am awakening and experience my soul communicating with me now in all that I do. I'm going to read the little blurb that I've got with this particular card for if you were to pull it out of the deck. And then what I am going to do is, after I create and I bring through my work, I then sit with it. I do the research to truly understand what it is that I have created. And I dug it up this morning because there's just been too many synchronicities for me over this weekend, and hence I really wanted to speak and talk, and read to you some of what I wrote back then. What I am going to do, because I originally did create an ebook and I feel now is time to bring it back again. And I need to make some changes just to update some of the writing. That's probably about all. And I'm going to be putting it on my website when it's done. But yeah, so let me just read what I've written about the awakening, okay? You are experiencing conscious evolution. You are vibrating at higher frequencies than ever before. You are awakening and attuning to your soul's calling as you walk your path in this physical lifetime. Time seems to move faster as these resonant shifts occur. Your conscious awareness of all life experiences increases, and you receive new information from higher vibrational realms that requires processing and assimilation. Pay strong attention to your dreams and to your waking moments as the universe is giving you messages. This may manifest as deja vu, repetitive or palindromic numbers, a feeling or thought, a smell, or even a touch. Okay, so and not that I wanted to talk about the actual sacred geometry of this, but this particular shape is an octahedron that has had its all its points actually cut off. So what we say when that happens is it's truncated. So this is a truncated octahedron. It is the earth heart, okay? It has connection to the earth heart. And even more as I think about it, you know, with what I have even written, when we think about what we are saying is that we can actually measure, for example, the Schumann resonance. This is one of the ways that we know that there is more of a quickening or things are speeding up, because we can measure the actual Schumann resonance, which is the Earth's heartbeat. But we are connected to that Earth's heartbeat. So our frequency is that of the Earth. Okay, so as we start getting these shifts in the Earth's heartbeat, as we're seeing in the Schumann resonance, it affects us. It affects us physically, but our frequency is also starting to shift. Okay, and when you are really, for those who are a lot more, what's the word I want? I've just got my mind, I've just lost my train of thought. Sorry. When you are really in tune with what you're feeling, you will start to feel these shifts that we are all going through at this particular time. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is I have in front of me the awakening template write-up that I did, and I'd like to just read some excerpts from this particular write-up. I am going to make it available. I've just got to find a way to put it up online, and when I've done that, I will put a link to this reading as well, or I'll put it under this reading as well. So I'm not going to read the whole lot of it, but I'm just going to read parts of it, because I just think that way you can start to understand how, when we see the significance of these numbers and these palindromes, there is a reason for everything. This is the universe's way of showing us, of giving us messages, okay? Because, you know, sometimes we say, oh, I just want a message. Show me, what do I need to see? What do I need to see to understand that I am going through this shift, this change, or this particular, you know, whatever I'm asking for is coming my way. a perfect way to start looking at these numbers. Go onto Google and Google the numbers that come up, and you will come up with, that many different pages of people who have put up what these actual numbers mean. Okay, so this weekend, what prompted me and what is just so significant for me is the fact that it has to do with the particular numbers that I got when I originally wrote this article. It started off when I made a purchase, and we'll find it, these numbers will come up in things that we purchase. So on our receipt, it will come up on our petrol, it will come up on our telephone. So it doesn't mean just because you don't, yes, we're on our phones a lot, but it doesn't mean that you're going to see that number on the telephone. It can be anywhere, is what I'm trying to tell you. So one of the first things I wanted to read is, as you can see, I've actually used the whale in talking here, which is a part of my template. The reason being is that whale is the record keeper of our planet and beyond. They hold within the Akashic records. That is everything which has occurred and will occur in the past, present, and future. Through the awakening process, we learn that we are all unified, and it is so important to understand that, okay? We are all unified, which is why consciously we can band together and we can create one of the most magnificent worlds, or the most magnificent world we will ever see. Through the awakening process, we learn that we are all unified and the knowledge within will start emerging. Our perception and understanding will strengthen on all levels of our being. We will find and nurture our inner balance, harmony, and gifts. What else can you say about whale? They are the record keepers. They pertain all the knowledge and wisdom, and this is why we can tap in to the essence of these divine animals as well. Okay, so like I said, I'm just going to read little excerpts from what I have written here. So our heart is a powerful transmitter and receiver. As we open our hearts to who we are, our role here on this physical plane to learn to love unconditionally, especially ourselves, we then expand the energy frequencies around our heart, transmitting divine vibrational frequencies that will ultimately connect us on all levels of our being. It is coming from that open heart and that open mind. It is time to release the outdated belief systems and emotional baggage. This is something that has come up in pretty much all the readings that I do. I'm not the only one who speaks of this and, letting go of that dross, because for us to be able to move forward and come from a place of these higher frequencies, it is very, very, very important that we remove aspects of our past that we no longer need to hold on to. And when it comes to, trauma, it is very, very different for everybody. But it's to be able to get to a point where we can get to a point of forgiveness, but not being able, it's not asking you to forget, okay? And it is going to be very, very different for everybody, and it's not going to be easy either, okay? For some, it's a life process to get to a point where you are able to feel at peace with what has happened within your life as well. So trust whale to show you the clarity you need to shift gracefully with the energies our world is emitting. Like whale, we need to slow down, move with grace, and learn to breathe as we go through rapid transformation, transmutation, and a rewiring of our DNA to accommodate working in higher multi-dimensional states of being. Okay, so I then went on to call the next as part of this write-up the awakening codes. Because what I was finding back then is that I was seeing these numbers, and I started to try and decipher these numbers. And I not only Googled them on the internet, I started looking into verses in the Bible. I started looking at coordinates, like the coordinates of the Great Pyramid. I even went in and in particular for the numbers that I got, I even looked at it. Could it be some form of, related to blood sugars, which would have been very, very high if that was the case. But, it was just trying to find a way if I could make sense of these numbers. And the reason I'm telling you this is because it's a perfect way for yourself to also, trust in the process, trust that these numbers have come to you for a reason. For me, it was 31.3 when I got this back in 2017. On the weekend, the first number I got was 31.13. That was how much I had to pay for my groceries. Then after that, I actually got the number 313. Okay, it was 3:13 p.m. And then that's when it triggered what I had written back in 2017, and why I really feel it is so necessary to bring it up again. Other numbers, like for example, that I see always, and it's always on the phone, is 808. And it's when we start to look at these numbers, start to see the repetition of these numbers, we understand that there is the reason that there is change. Change is abound, okay? And really it is related to time, because the way I see it is time is speeding up. So I'm just going to read a few more things. And as I'm talking now, my nose is starting to get itchy. So I feel like this is what we're meant to be talking about right now. So for example, I looked up to number 313. So it didn't matter I got 31.3 back then or 313 on the weekend. But to look up the number 313, it's a palindrome either way. Okay, it's a message from your angels that the strong connection you have with the angelic realm and the ascended masters is assisting you with staying positive, light and optimistic about your life. Pay close attention to your intuition and your inner wisdom. Are you being angelically guided towards the next steps along your path? Trust the messages and promptings and take positive action with confidence and enthusiasm. It is time to live your truths and express yourself with clarity, purpose, passion, and love. And it is all about what the teachings are now. It's about finding that inner balance. It's about what we're doing is working within the passion of what we truly love. It is about coming from that place of love. It's about releasing any fear. It's releasing all those lower vibrational frequencies that are going to keep us down here. That on a larger scale, those that are in control or think they're in control want to keep us down here. But understand, as I said before, we are all unified. When you understand that we are all one, you will understand that we are a bigger force. Nobody would be able to break that force that we have as in oneness, okay? I go on to write. So when I actually do post this as well, I understand that at the time, so it doesn't matter how you look at it, but for me, it was the channeling of Thoth that was coming through. It doesn't matter that it was probably my higher self, but it was that aspect of that frequency of Thoth that I was getting the most profound messages at the time. I mean, I couldn't make the stuff up even if I tried. It was just coming through. And at that was my awakening into everything that I am doing now. And just, as I looked then, it was 1919, beautiful. And it's just listening to the profound wisdom that is coming through and knowing that we are on our path, because it is the awakening of consciousness and humanity. okay? And the words that were coming through that I was channeling were, for thousands of years, you as a civilization have been asleep. The time has come to truly walk your path and to gain the wisdom and knowledge the ancient ones encoded for your journey. You hold the key to journey in one man's land. We have to learn superiority to work with and activate the true universal harmonics. And by doing this, we will activate higher dimensions and instill the light codes within our beings. You have no idea of what truly exists. And in saying that, you know, we hear of people talking about junk DNA. None of our DNA is junk. Basically, in a nutshell, what has happened is it's been deactivated, and it's up to us to reactivate that aspect of self, because when we do, and it's like the message that I put when people buy my book, I always write, allow the ancient wisdoms of sacred geometry to awaken every cell of your being, okay? Because everything is geometry. We are geometry. The universal blocks are geometry, okay? And it's what then, as we start to go through that awakening phase, when we start to pay attention to what we are seeing, we will start creating that shift in consciousness, which will ultimately start to reactivate the aspects of our DNA that they call the junk DNA. Time is the most significant reminder to me of what we are facing individually and as a collective. The significance of time as a palindrome has started to now become clearer. That there are a number of ways in which we can look at this. And as I said earlier, before we look at it through the Schumann resonance, okay, we can see how the Schumann resonance affects our earth, and in turn it affects us, because we are actually connected, okay? And you can transfer energy and information when two systems vibrate at the same frequency. The other is actually due to geomagnetic fields, and these geomagnetic fields is that outer layer, okay, around the Earth's atmosphere, and it is directly affected through sun flares. And we also hear about people talking a lot about the sun flares, and this is also causing these shifts, as well as the polar shifts that we hear about that have been going on, okay? One of the beautiful, just to bring this up as well, it is actually the heart that synchronizes more so to the earth. At the Heart Math Institute, they have discovered that the heart drives brain activity. And a quote by Nassim Haramein is, if the brain is the radio's receiver, then the heart is the dial tuning the radio to the frequency of your choice, okay? And conscious evolution is upon us. We are vibrating at higher frequencies than ever. We are awakening. Time is appearing faster as these resonant shifts occur, and as we are becoming more aware of the surroundings, higher information is being channeled and processing needs to be done. I'm going to leave it there, because I'll feel like maybe I'll start repeating myself. But it's really, really imperative that you are becoming aware of all that is going around you. Those that are clairsentient, that you feel more and more of what is going on around you. Be aware of that. I always, for when I feel really, really out of sorts, I have a Schumann resonance app. I do look it up, because I like to see, is something going on to why I feel the way I do. When I start to see numbers, I really, really, really take note of what I am seeing, to a point where, like even last night, for example, It was 5:55 when I left home. I went out for dinner with some friends and I said, look, it's 5:55. You know, I'm on my way. I got to where I was going. I've walked across the road to go to where we were sitting, where the restaurant was. And the number plate was 555. Number plates are another amazing way to see the numbers that we are meant to be seeing now. And 555 is all about change. So change is definitely upon us. There is so much amazing stuff that is happening here on our planet. If we can rise above, you know, the lower frequency, the negativity and, you know, the words that our governments are trying to instill into us, turn off the TVs, go live your life, go love, you know, what is your passion? What is your love? What is it that you want to create for you right now? Have a beautiful, beautiful week wherever you are. And I look forward to speaking with you soon. Bye for now.